I've always had an affinity for medieval Japan and I really think it's a fantastic setting for video games. And my love of Japanese culture stems from Shogun 2, which is a real-time strategy game set in the medieval era of Japan. It's really brutal, it's really conflicting, but at the same time, it was that game that really introduced me into it. Now, I love Assassin's Creed and I'm really glad that Assassin's Creed is going to this wonderful time period. Let's begin. Japan was always going to be an obvious setting for Assassin's Creed ever since its conception. I for one am delighted at the prospect of seeing another game set in medieval Japan, but at the same time, how will this game compare to Ghost of Tsushima? How will it exceed that expectation? Because Ghost was that game that basically was the unofficial Assassin's Creed game for medieval Japan. And you know, video game companies don't just wake up one day and decide to make a video game and expect it will all go well. They have a team of experts to judge and study the market and see what the audience wants. And medieval Japan has been in the demand for a very long time. Now of course, Japan was by omission one of the more popular settings for an Assassin's Creed game, yet it's taken this long to get here. So let me give you my thoughts as to why it's going to be the biggest Assassin's Creed game of 2024, but if it's delayed, it could be delayed to 2025. So first on our list, let's go to the setting of what this game is going to be about. Codename Red is confirmed for 2024 and you can obviously see that they are going for a stealth style Assassin's Creed based game set in the Sengoku Jidai era, which is the medieval era of Japan. Why is that? It's the shinobi wielding a one-handed sword and wielding a hidden blade. And why the shinobi? We in the West call them ninjas, but they were agents in feudal Japan, almost acting as spies in order to inflict damage on the enemy and assassinate the enemy lords of a rival clan. They could have blown up the gates of an enemy castle or infiltrated through a village. They could have deceived a guest by masquerading as someone else. Have no doubt, while we use the popular term that is the ninja, the shinobi is the more appropriate term. Their influence within this brutal civil war period was particularly damaging and influential at the same time. And the samurai would use these agents to do the dirty work against each other. And these weren't just spies, they were skilled mercenaries, maybe even ronin. But just by me mentioning all these historical facts means that we might be in for an epic setting. Number 2 is Playable Protagonists. At the same time, we have these two playable protagonists and this is getting to a point where I don't see what's wrong with sticking with a single character, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, while I like the idea, it can get a bit confusing. If these two characters have a similar timeline, say our samurai and shinobi, then what separates the two? What makes them unique? And will they have unique dialogue for different situations? They have to be unique and have unique dialogue for different situations, not repeating the same dialogue twice as you would have had with Cassandra and Alexios in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Because if we are living in a world of branching missions versus unique stories within a vast open world, there has to be some uniqueness between the characters, and it would be great if these characters possess those personalities. I would say Syndicate did a good job of this, with Jacob and Evie giving us a good balanced viewpoint of the two characters as they went around London and liberated the cities from the Templars. At the same time, however, I'm always getting the feeling with a single protagonist, they should keep the games as it is designed for that single character. Now, within our two characters themselves, we'll have a female shinobi of which we don't know about yet. Some details already have been leaked over the samurai character being Yasuke, an African refugee who was transported by the Dutch to Japan and became one of the most powerful bodyguards of the most powerful warlord in all of Japan, Oda Nobunaga. Already this seems like a good setup for a powerful story to be told at the heart of medieval Japan's most brutal conflict in its history. And finally, third, the open world. Now of course, we don't have many details yet, but it will be big. It won't be small, and I think that there will be a much bigger map of Japan on a scale that we've never seen before. I do hope that they stick to the events of this brutal time period, which is the age of the country at war, where powerful warlords in the Japanese history fought each other for control of the country itself and control of the shogunate. So this will be a stealth-focused Assassin's Creed game, and I also hope that with that stealth, we have cities and castles to infiltrate, but we also have good parkour mechanics as well. And Japanese castles I think will be ideal for parkour, but we also want to see that parkour also being improved within Japanese medieval cities. Also, I want to see us helping NPCs and doing the things needed that a shinobi would do or a samurai would do. And also that the previous RPG games didn't have much focus on, that was being an assassin. So let's hope that this open world will be a game that is focused on being an assassin, and don't just add worlds just because they'll add more content. In conclusion, let it be no doubt that if they say that this is going to become the biggest blockbuster of 2024, then I have a guarantee it will. This game, I believe, will encapsulate the best of what makes Ubisoft open worlds games great and make a pretty powerful story. However, at the same time, Red could be that game that could have a weak story, great open world, like Unity has. But in the same essence, I want this game to be not only having a great and powerful story, good dialogue, good characteristics, good characters. That's what this game should be. It should basically immerse us into medieval Japan and give us a medieval Japan that we've never seen before. Right? It's not just some Dark Souls or Souls-like game. It's a game where you can actually explore this open world of medieval Japan and witness one of the most brutal but glorious periods of Japanese history. Red has to be this new Assassin's Creed game that I believe at the end it will impress players and it will become something great. But I for one can't wait to try this out when it's announced. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of Assassin's Creed Codename Red, and don't forget to leave a like, share, comment and subscribe.